All right. Good morning, everybody. Actually, playing around with the settings on my live. Welcome to the channel, everyone. Hope you're having a great midweek in February, and everything is going well for you. Give me 1 second here. I'm trying to actually
no matter what age
fix something. I'm going to make sure that I'm doing everything okay before I get started, because I'm making this is my actually first video trying to make in landscape mode as opposed to the regular portrait. Okay. All right. You know what?
Okay.
Before I get started,
All right. You know what? Okay.
before I get started, I'm also going to change my microphone. You know what? I can't do that because I got it in the in my bag. Okay. All right. So let's get going. Today's title for this video, it is social media goldmine for over 40. And someone like myself, who's 60 years old, I have my personal channel, which is Nico Talk, and my mission in 2025 is to actually build this channel and kind of bring you guys along with me for the journey in building this particular channel and showing everybody how social media, especially YouTube, is presenting opportunities for people over 40. So today's video, like I said, is social media goldmine for over 40, and I just want to talk about the social media opportunities and unlocking the social media opportunities for individuals over 40 in a Trump era. In other words, we have a new government, we have a new president, and right off the bat, if you guys follow, I guess, news, right? The first press conference that they did this year, they actually came out and said that they were going to allow social media independent content creators to be part of the press conference room, where you could apply as an individual content creator to the White House, get your credentials, and be able to get into the press room like everybody else, share the space like all the big boys, like CBS, NBC, all the big boys, and ask questions. So it seems that the narrative, it seems that the way of thinking of the new administration is embracing independent social media content creators. And it's not just saying that, it's actually going forward and allowing these people to go into the press room. Once again, on the second or the third briefing, I believe they actually had the first independent social media content creator sit and actually ask the question. So why am I saying this? I'm saying this to point out that this will create and increase the opportunities for social media creators over the age of 40 years old. And why am I concentrating over the 40-year age? Because obviously I'm a 60-year-old. I'm a 60-year-old creator. I do have a channel on YouTube for my passion, one of my passions, which is futsal. But now I'm getting more serious about building my personal channel, which I want to focus on things for people over 40 years old, 40, 50, 60 years old, because I believe there's not enough of that going around. Also, I did a live last Saturday, and there were a bunch of younger people that came in, and there was a conversation with one that was younger asking questions about entrepreneurship, because I guess, he follows my channel, and he knows that I do on a business. Actually, own two businesses as an entrepreneur. So they asked, this individual asked some questions, some really good questions, by the way, about becoming an entrepreneur, discussing the possibility of taking entrepreneurship courses in college and all this stuff. So the reason why I'm saying this because I believe that as over 40-year-old people, we can share information among our community, 40 and over, but also bring a wealth of knowledge, wisdom, and experience to younger people. So although we may say, okay, so my channel is over 40 and I'm going to cater content to people over 40, I also believe that younger people will gravitate to these channels based on your video that you create because they're seeking advice for somebody older who may have done this already. So if you do a video like today, social media, Goldmine for over 40-year-olds, maybe a younger person will come into the channel and start listening. And here's the thing. I believe that younger people, since they've been born into the social media age, into the digital age, they actually have a better outlook and a different outlook than us older people who were not born into this, but slowly have adopted to it. Okay. So I strongly believe that the conversation between younger people and older people needs to be further developed. In other words, it's not enough. Older people saying, oh, what do you know? You're only, 20 something, and they dismiss. Or the younger people might say, oh, you're just an old fool. You're 50 years old. Your time has passed and this and that. I strongly believe we have to come together, both as older and younger people, because obviously we're part of a, huge community if you are a digital content creator. If you live in the US, if you're the human race, we're all part of it. So dismissing someone because they're old or dismissing someone because they're young, I think it's wrong. It hurts both sides. So if you are smart, like I am, and I like to think myself as smart, one of the things that I encourage and I embrace in my own business, because my business, in case you are not following me, in case it is the first time on the channel here, I own a business that we deal with younger people. Okay. In other words, my company hosts and organizes events for younger people. It's a soccer specific. Futsal is the name of the brand. Events, as well as having an academy where we train younger people. So we're all around younger people, ages from 5 years old and up, 5 to 18 minimum. Furthermore, I've also been a collegiate coach, so I have been in constant contact with younger people, the ages of 18 to 22, 23, right? So I like to have the younger generation's perspective. The trainers that work with us, they're mostly younger people. So I always encourage and I'm always asking opinions of these younger people. Hey, look, tell me what I can do to better market our company to younger people on social media. Tell me what social media apps should we be on that you think younger people hang out at. My daughter is 22 years old. She's a senior this year at the University of Nova in South Florida. And I always ask her, hey, what do you think? I just made a video on TikTok and I just got, this and I got this many followers and blah, 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 blah. And I get feedback from her and her friends. So welcoming all this interaction, welcoming all this conversation, I think it's a positive thing. The evolving social media landscape, I believe, has began a while ago, but now with the re-election of President Trump, I think it's ushered a notable transformation in the social media sphere. So if you are somebody who has just started a channel on YouTube, on TikTok, on Instagram, whatever, or is about to, because you're thinking, well, here's something that you may want to consider. All these platforms are experiencing an increase fragmentation with just emerging networks gaining more prominence alongside traditional ones, you know. So what is a platform fragmentation? There's just a notable shift towards the niche platforms catering to specific audiences like this channel, where I want to focus on people over 40, which is leading to more segmented social media environment. So instead of just turning the TV and if you are somebody over 40, 50, 60 who's been used to consistently just viewing one channel, CBS, ABC, CNN, whatever channel, Fox Network, whatever channel. Now there's more and more people shifting over and looking at news on YouTube, on TikTok, on Instagram. So the landscape is changing. Also, the policies are changing on these platforms, policy revisions. So major platforms are adjusting their content policies, which, it's influencing the type of content that gains more visibility on these channels. So the opportunities for 40 plus demographic is increasing. And, we have to embrace this unique position. So individuals over 40, they bring a wealth of experience, different perspectives that resonate with other diverse audiences, regardless if they're over 40 or younger people, as the example I just gave you earlier in this video, where a younger person was asking me all kinds of questions about entrepreneurship, sharing my experience being an entrepreneur and a business or a small business owner for many years. So the demographic is increasingly influencing social media trends, particularly in the areas of, let's say, wellness, lifestyles, professional development, all this stuff. And you'll notice, if you love YouTube as I do, if you hang out on YouTube as much as I do, you'll notice more and more channels, new channels being created by people over 40 to attract and discuss things that over 40 people are interested in. But like I said, I strongly believe a younger crowd will tune in to a specific video if the title is attractive, because they're looking to get a sense of perspective from our experience. So, some of the strategies for engagement, let's talk about that. More and more newer, should I say, YouTube channels that have hardly any, followers, or their engagement is very low, are being encouraged to start doing more authentic storytelling, similar to what I'm doing here. I'm sharing a topic and I'm telling you in a sort of storytelling format, without the edits and different scenes and whatnot, right? So sharing your personal experience, like I'm sharing right now, your insight, your thoughts, can highlight a journey that you're going through. And that's what I'm trying to do here. I'm trying to take everybody with me into a journey, building this channel for over 40 people like myself. Another thing that can come, like a strategy for engagement, is we're trying to build a community. So this channel is focusing on building a community for over 40, 50, 60, and whatever people. And it's not just going to be social media content, how to better build and increase a social media channel, but it will address my journey through cancer. For example, I post videos about my journey through cancer. I'm a cancer survivor. Maybe my outlook in business, entrepreneurship, and I'm addressing all these things because I am posting videos, and I will be posting more. How about the new shift into crypto? More and more people are shifting their assets into crypto. If you're like me, and I have a financial background, I was a mortgage broker for many, many years before I shift over after the mortgage collapse, after the financial collapse in 2007-8, into the sports business. So I'm somebody who has somewhat of a financial background, but to be honest, I never really understood crypto, just like really don't understand a lot about trading stocks and bonds. I do have a 401k, but I choose to have platforms and tools that are kind of automated. I don't want to be going there and searching which stock is new, which stock is hot, which is this, which is that, because quite honestly, I believe the stock market is like gambling. So even though, the people that are doing a lot of research, and there's plenty of financial channels on YouTube that, will give you insights on the financial world as far as stocks and bonds, I still believe that the stock market is strongly being influenced by external factors. So, for example, the government, and they can deny it all they want, but the fact is that inside trading is taking on place, forever, for many years. So you have many politicians engaging in that, and when they're dumping millions of dollars into the market for a specific stock, well, guess what? That stock just got influenced. That stock just, got manipulated. So the market, as far as I'm concerned, is continuously being, manipulated. I don't know. I don't have the knowledge. I don't want to do, the daily homework that it takes. So I have a 401k, and a 401k, most people in my age, 40 and over, and they know what it is, right? It allows you to basically put your money in there. They are part of the 500, S&P 500. They have stocks in a lot of different companies. So if one company goes up and another one goes down, kind of balances out. And hopefully over the course of many years, if you continuously invest money into it, it will grow. Now, there's a different conversation about, yeah, it's growing, but if you got $1 million 20 years from now, or if you start investing in your 401k 20 years ago in your 20s, and now you're 40 or 45 or 50, and you're about approaching, retirement age, and you do have $1 million in your 401k, is the $1 million equal to what it was 20 years ago? Obviously not, because the price of goods, the price of living has gone up. So although your investment value has gone up over the years, in my opinion, really, all you're doing is you're really keeping afloat, because $1 million today doesn't buy you as much as it bought you 20 years ago. Therefore, my mind, and I'm letting you know my way of thinking is, well, maybe we need to start looking at different alternative ways of investing. And at 40, at 50, at 60, you're never too old to start investing, by the way. A lot of people say, oh, I missed the boat, I'm too old. I wasted all those years and yada, yada, yada. In my opinion, you're never too old to start. Start today. So I have started doing a little bit of, slow, not investigating, but more getting more knowledge into crypto. Somebody introduced me to crypto like 7, 8 years ago. And I wanted to, I'm very open-minded. I'm very open-minded to a lot of things. I embrace new things. I like to be exposed to new things. I'm not one of those 60-year-olds that I am set in my ways that I acquire from my parents or my environment, 20, 30 years ago. I consider myself someone of 60 years old that is always new to and open to new ideas. Hence why I'm encouraging our generation, our 40, 50, 60-year-old community to engage into more communication with younger people and vice versa. So, 7, 8 years ago, when someone told me, you should start looking into crypto, 7, 8 years ago, the way you invested and bought crypto was a lot different than it is today. So in those years, and again, it sounds like so many years ago, right? No, it's only 7, 8 years ago. But you had to sit in front of the computer. You had to look at the trends. You had to monitor, the performance of the crypto. Not as many coins available as there are today. But it was just a lot of knowledge. It was tiresome. It was a pain, in the butt. And you had to know what you were doing. You had to buy and sell, buy and sell. I don't want to do that. I don't want to be glued to my computer every day monitoring the performance of my crypto assets or my stock market assets. So I choose to have some tools, and I'll probably make a different video on that, where you're basically just investing some money. So you want to invest $1, $5, $10, $100, $1,000, whatever the amount is. You just invest dollars, and you kind of watch it go, and hopefully it grows. The difference between crypto, as I'm learning, to the regular stock market, which involves, fiat currency, right? Dollars, yen, euros. is the fact that cryptocurrency cannot be manipulated by banks or governments. Bitcoin has, you can't, they're not making any more Bitcoins. That's it. Whatever it was put out in the market, that's it. So for better or for worse, it's the only currency that's available. So kind of like, gold, you can mine more gold, okay? But crypto, not like that. So and I'm learning. I don't want to give a lot of information that might be, incorrect. Let's put it this way. But open-minded to having, more information about crypto and possibly investing, which I have already, by the way. So again, I'm not getting off topic. I'm just trying to give you guys, like, there's a lot of things we can address. So navigating through the platform dynamics, understanding, the platform nuances, because let's be honest, each social media platform has, its unique culture and user base. So for example, Facebook sort of remains the hub for community engagement, while Instagram, focuses more on storytelling. If you ask younger people, like I asked my daughter, although she has a Facebook account, she hardly ever uses it, very little. Younger people do not hang out on Facebook, okay? Older people, 40, 50, 60, tend to be more on Facebook. And it's become more of a community. Like I have a group for my business on Facebook that's got like, close to 3,500 subscribers, right? And I share information about the type of business I'm in. I belong to a bunch of different groups in in Facebook rather, that I share information for my business, right? But it's mostly older people. The younger people seem to hang out in Instagram, on TikTok, Snapchat. Again, there's a lot of different platforms. Are you going to say, wow, that's just way too much? It sounds overwhelming, Well, you're on YouTube right now. You're watching a YouTube channel. You're watching a YouTube video. Why not just be more informed? Stay more informed. Keep abreast of the policy changes, what the platform updates are, to ensure that your content remains relevant and compliant. On YouTube, maybe you want to diversify your presence, explore, emerging platforms, emerging topics, and align your message with your audience. So again, you're on YouTube. Why not stay on YouTube? Why not build a personal brand on YouTube? You can establish your online identity through YouTube. In case anyone here does not know, YouTube is owned by Google, which is the biggest searching in the world. More people, when they want to do something, when they want to go someplace, where they want to buy something, the first thing they do is they YouTube it. Gone are the days where people used to open up the directions to read something, to do something. Nowadays, people don't want to read. They just go on YouTube and YouTube on how to do something. You just bought a new item and you want to put it together, assemble it. Instead of reading the directions, you just go on YouTube and watch a YouTube video. YouTube is the most searched engine after Google, and Google owns YouTube. So guess what? Google will promote your videos and your content if they're relevant online. There you go. So if you don't want to be, burdened with other apps, if you think it's too much for you, that's okay. YouTube is more than enough. Okay. So you can establish an online identity on YouTube very, very easily without even doing anything else. There's obviously some things that everybody should do and we should learn. And by the way, I am continuously learning from other creators on YouTube by watching daily videos. Some might say what I do is not the norm. And maybe not. I don't know. I believe that everybody spends some time on YouTube daily, either on their cell phones, on their tablets, on their computer, regardless if they're doing work hours, which you're not supposed to do, or in between breaks when you're working, or when you're driving home, or after work. But I strongly believe that And I don't know what the percentages are. Okay, maybe I should YouTube it and get the percentages. But I strongly believe that YouTube is part of everyday American culture, if not global culture. So professional presentation, using good lighting, maybe quality video. Although most cellular phones these days, if you're sitting, I'm sitting in my office right now, which my office is out of my house, by the way. I'm looking into and I'm doing some research to jump on some of the more professional apps, to start broadcasting, okay, where you can create the backgrounds and this and that. But for the most part, I have some lights that I bought on Amazon very inexpensively. I do have a microphone. I have a DJI microphone that I invested some money. I don't have it used right now because I left it downstairs, and by the time I started the live, I realized it. But yeah, maybe some, just like, I mean, you could buy some lights to you could buy a small, if you're gonna use your phone, for example, because there's a lot of channels that will tell you what to use and to broadcast and this and that. What I say to everybody is this: use your phone. If you have a decent phone, most phones these days have pretty good cameras and pretty good sound. So my opinion is, especially if you're just starting, a YouTube channel, or if you're pretty new to this, you don't need to spend a lot of money to go out and buy a fancy camera and microphones and lights and this and that. So you can buy a small light. Here it is. I'm going to show you guys. I have it here. Okay. I bought this on TikTok. You see this? This is a light. Okay. That basically clips on your phone. Okay. I'll turn it on to give you guys an idea. Okay. Here's the light. Ready? You see the light? Okay. Now I'm pointing towards me. Okay. That I bought this for $10. This light was bought for $10. You can clip it on your phone. And you got light. And you can also buy very inexpensive microphones. I'm going to show you the microphone too. Okay. You see this microphone? This microphone was like $7. Again, I bought this from TikTok. Very inexpensive microphone, which I'm not using right now because I didn't, install it in my phone, for $10. Now, I do have microphones that I use because I actually use them when in my business. So when I'm coaching, when I'm training, I have my phones, posted someplace, and I wear a heavier mic that you need to distance and whatnot. So you need better quality microphone, which still were $300. But I decided to invest in that type of microphone because of my business. But what I tell everybody, and I tell small entrepreneurs like myself, small business owners that may only have 1 to 5 employees or no employees at all, you don't need to go out and spend a lot of money on stuff. You got your cell phone, you can buy, the $10 light from, again, this is being sold not just on TikTok. I bought it on TikTok, but you can buy it on Amazon. You can buy it anywhere. Just Google, cell phone light, $10. Cell phone microphone. There you go, $7. Okay, and they work fine. For just sitting in front of the camera and starting your YouTube channel. Why go out and spend money? Furthermore, if you're a small business owner, you don't need more than that. Just post videos. The new trend, the new engagement way is more and more people want real people. They're tired of over the production, the big YouTube channels, the big media channels, ABC, CBS, CNN, all these channels that spend millions of dollars in production, but, they're really not as authentic as you think they are. So the new trend, especially on YouTube, is pushing younger, newer channels that are authentic. Like, look, this is me. I don't have any production behind me. I just turn my cell phone on, okay? I actually have multiple cell phones. I have multiple cell phones for my business and whatnot, all right? So I wish I could show you guys. I'm literally recording right now on my Samsung Note 23, what you see, okay? I have some lights. I'm going to turn around and show you the lights. Can you guys see the light there? There's one light there. There's another light here. I have two lights. Can you guys see that I bought? Maybe again, very, very modest setup, guys. Very modest setup. So this type of content is being encouraged more and more. Authentic new creators on YouTube, because people are tired of the lies, of the garbage that's spewed out there. And I don't mean to go off topic, but I'm going to tell you guys one thing which annoys the heck out of me. And by the way, a lot of new channels are pointing these things out. So when you are navigating through YouTube to choose a video to see, it's becoming alarmingly annoying, the fact that content creators using headlines to grab your attention. Because let's be honest, what grabs your attention? The title, to see if you're interested to watch the video, and of course the thumbnail. Those are the most two important things to grab your attention right away, right? So YouTube creators are using catchy titles to grab your attention, and once you go in, it's completely different. Like, they don't even mention what it was mentioned on the title is not even discussed in the video, and that's extremely annoying, because you're staying there. At least to me it is, because you're watching the video and you're waiting. Okay, when are you going to discuss the topic that you talked about on the video? And they never do. So my recommendation to people who are just starting is, don't bait people with titles and then do not even address. Like my title for this video was Social Media Goldmine for Over 40. And we're discussing things here right now in this video about different things that you can do in this particular topic, right? Imagine if you clicked on that because you saw the title, and then I started discussing, I don't know, swimming. I started discussing, gardening or something. It has nothing to do with social media, right? So that's what I'm trying to say. That annoys the heck out of me. So getting back to this, the engagement, interacting with your audience through the content and comments that people may post, messages on these live sessions, which, by the way, again, I am pretty new at this live game. I've only done a few lives. So, and I'm using my phone. Eventually, like I said, right now I'm doing my research to get on, to start investing, because it is an investment. You're gonna have to pay a monthly fee if you want to get on an app like Streamline, Riverside, whatever. I don't know the names yet. I'm doing my research now to see which one is the better fit for me, as far as money wise, and what they're giving you for the money. Because again, I'm not monetized yet. I don't have a big budget. I don't have, people calling me to give me money so they can advertise the products on the channel. But my goal is to grow this channel and get to that point, because I'm not going to lie. I'm not as passionate as I am about, getting in front of the camera and bringing this content and talking, building a community in what I just discussed, over 40, 50, 60. I would also like to make some money, because let's be honest, every time I get in front of the video camera and I spend an hour, 2 hours, that takes money, because I could be doing something else that could bring me an income, right? Or you know what, you want to invest in the microphone, in the light, and this or that costs money. So obviously it would be nice to be able to monetize this. My other business channel, little shameless plug, Futsal Today is the other business channel, Futsal Today. I am I think at 1,859 subscribers. So I'm hoping to get to 2,000 by the end of the month, right? And I'm making and I'm adjusting that channel as well, because as I'm learning again by watching other YouTube's channels, I'm beginning to understand more and more between long videos and short videos, and having more people view the videos, be more engaged, blah blah blah. Part of it, like right now, I don't know if anybody's making any comments or not. If you are, I do appreciate you guys, and I will answer them. But on my phone, I don't want to mess up the video. Let me see. No, don't know what that is. I don't know where the comments are on my video. Anyway, I don't want to mess up the video, so I'm not going to mess around with it. I'll answer any comments or address, because that's another source of making content, by looking at the comments. I appreciate all you guys being here and watching. Please consider subscribing and following, by the way. But anyway, getting back to the engagement, that's what we're talking about. You know, again, another thing that you may want to, do is, leveraging new platforms. I mean, there's a lot of new platforms, at least new to people like us. So exploring emerging networks. The current era has seen just like many platforms that cater to various interests and demographics. Like Truth Social, for example. Truth Social. How many of you guys know Truth Social? Okay, Truth Social was launched by President Trump a few years back, and the platform emphasizes on free speech and may appeal to certain audiences of older age groups, right? Rumble is another one. It's a video sharing platform that's getting traction with a diverse user group because they're more I guess lenient to free speech. I don't know. X is another platform. I mean, there's just so many platforms. TikTok. I'm on TikTok. I am building a following on TikTok. I have two channels again. One, my personal channel, and my business channel. And my personal channel is about 400 and change. My business channel is about 650 something. So I'm trying to get to 1,000 on those channels, because when you get to 1,000 subscribers, you get some things that you can't do when you don't have as many. So I am like I told you before, I'm someone which I consider open-minded. I am a 60-year-old that I consider myself open-minded to new ideas, to speaking with young people. Like I'm always speaking with my daughter and her friends who are in their college years, to get more insight about where should I be, what should I do, how can I make my voice heard. How can I make my voice heard to my peers, 40 and over, and how can I make my voice, heard to maybe younger people that want to listen to me and learn from me based on my experience? What can you learn from me if you're a younger person? Well, like I just said, I am a former college coach. So if you're looking to go into college through a scholarship situation playing soccer, well, I was at Widener University, a coach for soccer. So maybe you can learn some things if you ask me questions about the recruitment process. If you are somebody who has just been diagnosed with cancer, regardless of your age, I can possibly give you some advice of that, as I have gone through my cancer journey for the past, well, not for the past. I am cancer-free now for 10 months. So prior to that, for about a year. Okay. Let's say that you're a small entrepreneurship person, regardless of the age, or maybe you're thinking about opening up a small business. Maybe I can give you some advice on that. So you see how everything goes hand in hand. You know what I mean? I think that as a community, the social media is definitely a gold mine, regardless if you are going to just strictly focus on over 40 people, or if you're going to have a younger crowd coming in and out and experiencing your life experiences. So look, at the end of the day, I believe that if we embrace social media, and I get that as we get older, we get more stuck in our ways. I've spoken to people in their 60s, 70s, and they just refuse to change. They refuse. They have a certain view of things, and that's it. They're stuck in that view. Well, there's nothing I guess you can do about that, but I tell you one thing, the world is changing every single minute. We are a global community. We're not, you can argue and say, well, we're a bunch of national communities, depending on what country you live in, I guess, right? But the world has become very, very small. In the 70s, I migrated into this country when I was 8 years old in 76, right? In the early 80s, there were nothing of technology things that we have today. You wanted to speak with someone, you had to call them on the phone. And if they were not home, you had to call back again because they were not even answering devices. When we got the answering machines, oh my God, and then we got the cell phones, then the internet. So in the 70s and 80s, the world was much bigger in a sense of communicating with one another. Okay. If you wanted to speak to someone from America and they lived in Europe, you had to have, I don't even remember. Were you able to like? I don't remember. How were we communicating in those years? I don't remember. I was very young. How were we communicating in the late 70s? If you wanted to speak to somebody across continents, I don't remember. I know that when the telecommunication explosion happened, and you could buy packages and you could have international calling. So you had to pay. You had two options. You can pay for just calling people in the U.S., and then you could add an international package, and you could communicate with people anywhere in the world. Right? Remember that was happening. Then Skype came on, where you could pay for a flat fee. You can communicate through the internet and Skype, and not have to pay all these great prices on the telephones. You guys remember that, right? Nowadays, I mean, we're going to sell communications. Like I have Verizon, and you can have as part of your package one country where you can communicate for free. I mean, what I'm trying to tell you guys is that things have changed, and the world has gotten so much smaller. So somebody from Australia can be listening to this video where it's being made here in New Jersey, USA, right? And can relate to the things that I'm talking about. Someone from Germany, someone from China, somebody anywhere. The world has gotten very smaller because of the advances of technology, right? So embracing all these changes, embracing social media in the new Trump era, I believe that will offer us numerous opportunities for individuals, over 40 years old. And if we stay informed, if we stay authentic, like I believe this video is extremely authentic. There's not going to be any editing. It's going to go live and people can see it. If we stay open-minded, if we can be adaptable, I believe that you or me or anybody in our age, we can effectively navigate through the dynamic landscape and make definitely meaningful connections, grow a community. And why not? Why not derive an income as we approach our retirement years? I mean, check this out, right? Picture this. So you're retired and you choose to retire someplace. If you like the warm weather like myself, let's say you choose to retire in Florida, if you are in the US. Or you know what? Maybe you want to retire in Puerto Rico. Maybe you're from the Virgin Islands. Maybe you retire in the Virgin Islands. Maybe you're from Europe like myself. I'm Greek. So maybe you can retire at a Greek island or Spain or Italy or anywhere in the world. And you have internet service. All you need is internet service by way of coming into your house, or maybe an internet hub, because nowadays, in case you're not aware, you have those little devices little device the size of this light that I showed you before, that you can basically get internet access on your phone or your computer. So you're sitting someplace, as I said, I like the summer weather. So I'm sitting overlooking the beautiful Mediterranean beach and water in Greece, or the Spanish Riviera if you're going to Spain, or in Puerto Rico, or Virgin Islands, or whatever. All right. And you just have your cup of coffee in the morning, and you click on your cell phone like I'm doing right now, and you're interacting with the world. And believe me, as long as the world turns, there will be subject matter. All you need is your imagination. Talk about what's on your mind. What's on your mind today? And believe me, you're not the only one who has those thoughts and those concerns. There's other people that have the same thoughts and concerns. So you turn your phone on, you're authentic, and you start talking, you start sharing, and you build this community, you build your channel. Before you know it, you start making some money out of your channel. Nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with having a little bit of extra money, a side hustle as they call it, alongside with your retirement money, your pension, or whatever else you have. If you don't want to monetize, it's entirely up to you, not a problem. But again, this, as this video says, social media goldmine for over 40 folks. For over 40 folks. Okay? This social media video is intended just to show, and me talking out loud, that I think, and it has nothing to do with politics, by the way. Don't confuse the fact that I use the Trump era. It doesn't matter if you support Trump or you don't. His policies, whatever he's going to do, are going to affect both sides. So if he's embracing social media, and he is, by the way, and like I said earlier in the video, one of the first things that they did in the press conference was to acknowledge social media content creators as a source of legitimate information. And I'll tell you why. Again, if you're like me, I hear of things through my cell phone, either YouTube, TikTok, X, Instagram. I have, news updates on my phone activated. So I hear something way before the traditional media channels cover it. Way before CBS, NBC, CNN, Fox, Newsmax, whoever you follow, I don't care. I get the news on my cell phone, or if I'm working, on my computer, through outlets, like I said, like YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, X, whatever you belong to. I happen to be on all of them. So I get the news way before. And then, okay, I also see there's a different variation that I get. So what I get from Joe Smo in Nebraska or in Hawaii or in California on a YouTube channel or a TikTok feed, right, is much different than when I get from the newscaster on CNN or ABC or Newsmax or Fox. Now, of course, as an intelligent, sane, common sense grown-up, I make my own decision. All right, so this person said this person said that. Let me look more into it. Oh, more people said this on social media than what's being covered on regular, television. And then, of course, you make up your decision. You make up your mind. The ultimate decision lies with us, right? On who's being honest, who's giving us reality, who's giving us the truth, or who's giving us a distorted version of the truth, which, once again, and that's a topic for another conversation. I feel that older people are not only comfortable and not willing to change with the times, I feel that they're also brainwashed with certain things. So personally, when it comes to politics, I believe that there's so much corruption everywhere to be shared, all right, that it's not about belonging to a certain group anymore. It's about, do your due diligence and see what's best for you and your family, and don't get, jaded, don't get swayed by a certain group or another. That's just my opinion. But again, not everybody's like me. I consider myself a 60-year-old that's very open-minded about things and very welcome and receptive to different views. Now, there are some things, like I said, that over time, in my opinion, have been proven to be just worthless. And if somebody starts talking about those worthless things, I have better use of my time. So either I will delete, or I will press out of that video if I'm online watching it, or if somebody is having a conversation on that in reality, where I'll just get in my car and leave, or I'll say politely, "Thank you very much, nice talking to you," and move away. Yeah, there are certain things, although I'm open-minded and interested in listening to different points of views, there's certain things that just, I'm going to move away. It can be something as extreme as saying, well, there's no sun. Well, what do you call that thing that shines every morning? Oh, that's not sun. That's that's a red pill. I don't know, whatever. You know, no, it's not, man. That's the sun. Come on. I'm not going to sit there and debate with that person because they chose that it's called the red pill. It's the sun. So I'm going to politely say, thank you very much. Hey, have a nice day, and just move away. At 60 years old, and I think that's something as we get older, we begin to realize I have better use of my time than sitting there and listening to garbage and trying to argue with other people and trying to debate things. I have better things to do with my energy. Life is short, and as we get older, life gets shorter. I hate to tell you this. I don't know what you guys think, but when you're in your 20s, the life is in front of you. Oh, I'll get to it tomorrow. If I don't get tomorrow, I get to it in a week or whatever, a month. I'll get to it. I got plenty of time. The whole life is in front of me. But when you're 60 years old, when you've been through cancer like I have, you start thinking different. In my opinion, older people realize that time is working against them. And I'm not trying to be morbid here, right? I'm not trying to be, a negative. It is what it is. It is what it is. As you get older, you travel through life. You travel towards the end of your life, and you have less time. It's just natural, right? So I don't have the time to sit there and waste energy on things that I know for sure are not true. However, there are many people our age that are just so brainwashed in believing something that they unconsciously, I like to believe unconsciously, those things will bring them harm personally or in their families or in their community, that actually get up and educate themselves, which is another. God, as I'm talking to you guys, seriously, as I'm talking to you guys, I just have like at least 4 or 5 ideas for more videos that I'm going to make. Education. Oh my God. The education process never ends as far as I'm concerned. It doesn't matter if you're 10, 20, 40, 100 years old. As long as you live, education happens. Why? Well, because life is the worst teacher. It beats you up. It kicks you out, spits you out. You get bloodied, and then you learn your lesson. No one has learned any lessons prior to them having something happen to them. So as long as life is happening, there's going to be a lesson. Okay? So for the older generation like myself, it's best served to stop becoming more open-minded to new things, embrace new things. And social media is one of them. My God, I don't even remember how long ago, years ago. I tell you one thing. I remember owning a business in the early 90s. In the early 90s. And remember when if you're old enough like I am, you had a computer and you had to have this big floppy disk that you put in. And AOL came on the scene, and you got online. And these things were like, oh my God. It were like such tremendous advances in technology, I remember in those years when the internet first started, there was no social media. If you were on a chat group and you were sitting there typing and, you couldn't talk in there, there was no live chat through the microphone. You had to type. That's how you chatted, right? If you guys remember. And I remember when the first innovators and pioneers start talking about social media and what social media would do to the world and blah, blah, blah. And again, here's another video idea. Social media, bad and good. And yes, social media is bad and social media is good. It all depends who uses it, how they use it, and the recipients. So if you're going to be sitting in front of the computer like a lot of young people do, and they're being indoctrinated and brainwashed on certain things, right? Well, that's what's going to happen. But if you use social media sensibly, with common sense, it can be a tremendous situation. A lot of people are scared and petrified of AI. because of the movies that they have been put out, years ago. Oh, AI, robots are going to take over the world and blah, 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 blah. Is that true? I don't know. I don't live in the future. But I use AI. I use AI in my business, and it has helped me quite a bit. Quite a bit. I use AI daily in my business, actually. And you know what? And to a certain degree, in my own personal, life. I mean, think about it. These days there's AI everywhere. You Google something, you YouTube something, you go online, there's AI plugged anywhere. You go to Amazon, you go to Target, everywhere. There's AI everywhere. We just don't realize it, okay? Is that good? Again, it all depends on the provider of AI, on the consumer of AI. If you're a person who's very easily swayed, if the person who's very easily being brainwashed, I guess it's a bad thing for you. But it doesn't mean it's a bad thing for everybody. Anything that exists in the world could be potentially bad for us. Not just liquor or cigarettes or, drugs or this or that. Anything. Look, if you have a certain disease, a chronic disease, and you're not supposed to be eating a certain thing, well, if you eat it, if you ignore your doctor's directions, right, and you keep eating it, whose fault is it? Is it a doctor's fault? Or is it yours that you're not listening to your doctor? Okay? If somebody tells you, your liver is about to like fall off because you just, you drink like you're alcoholic and, well, go to a rehab. Get help. Seek help. I'm just using general examples, guys, okay? But like I said, social media, in my opinion, could be a fantastic thing and a great opportunity for us older people. And I think to a certain degree for older people that think young, because I know 60-year-olds that cannot even operate their phones. I know 60 years olds that are having a hard time pulling up internet or Facebook, for that matter, on their phone. They keep forgetting. Okay. Look, my mom passed 3 years ago. She was in her 80s, and she had her tablet. She would get on Facebook. It was funny because she would just click on all these ads, pop-up ads, and this and that. So, as she was learning, so her phone and her tablet were getting so many viruses and this and that, and we have to go in there and clean it up, But here's an 80-year-old who was on social media following and watching things and, social media on Facebook or what have you, YouTube, She was an 80-year-old person who was very open-minded about, life, about being curious. But there's also other, younger, 60-year-old, 50-year-old people that refuse to do anything. Well, God bless you. I guess there is a place for everybody. And that's what's wonderful about life in the world. It's a great thing for everybody. Okay? So, I'd love to hear what your comments are. I'd love to hear what you guys think about, this particular video. I'd love to have you guys, share this video. At the end of the day, YouTube algorithms do like sharing and commenting, and love to have you guys subscribe if you find this content interested. And I've done other videos and I've spoken, on other videos. One of my goals for this channel is to become more consistent. And I have done a video, about this being more consistent if you want to build a YouTube channel, because I've actually started multiple channels over the last 20 some odd years. And one of the mistakes that I made were starting the channel just like, I got in some subscribers. My first channel was, and it's still in existence. It's called Soccer Skills. It was Soccer Skills, SKILLZ, Soccer Skills, still exists. It's got about 455 subscribers. I named it because that was, in the early 2000s when I transitioned from the mortgage business into the soccer business. So I had to be more or less 20 years because when the market collapsed, it was around 2006, 2007, I believe, right? So 19, between 18 and 20 years. Um, and that's when I was involved with sports, youth sports. I was doing a voluntary basis. So when my industry collapsed, slowly I started transitioning to this, and that's how I started my full-time sports business. But I remember, I created a channel because, again, even in those years, 20 years, I was, pretty involved in social media and being around younger kids and this and that. Like, oh, Coach Nico, you got to have, put your videos and da 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 da. So I created soccer skills. But on YouTube, on that channel, I would also have personal videos for me, my family, all kinds of stuff. So some of the kids were saying, Coach Nico, you got to separate it. You can't have a personal video into a sports channel and this and that. And I kind of learned in those years, yeah, it's kind of making sense. We should separate. If I have soccer skills and the name sounds soccer skills, right? What is it about? Probably soccer skills, right? I should not be doing personal videos of me and my daughter, sledding. Okay. I thought there was a lot of truth to that. So sooner or later, I just stopped. The channel still has 450. I mean, there's some videos I have there for my business that I have a lot, like 15, 20, 30,000 views, because I was also selling at the time in the early 20s. I was also selling a lot of stuff online. I had an Amazon store, and I was selling a lot of stuff online. I was doing very well. Until the market changes, until Amazon completely shifted and changed. Okay, another video idea. But again, getting back to seeing how everything I'm talking about is intertwined. 20 years ago to now, internet, social media, engagement, how people do things, algorithms, this, that. It's always changing. The world is always changing. So anyway, I left the channel there and never, I just stopped posting. Which brings to another thing, that if you are a new creator, starting a new YouTube channel, being authentic, this, that, the most important thing is you got to be consistent. Because in the beginning, you're not going to get a lot of views. Yes, YouTube is pushing videos out for new creators and new channels, right? But your videos are not going to get a lot of views in the beginning. You have to create that traction. You have to create that engagement. It doesn't happen overnight. So you can't put a video on today and then don't post for a month or 2 months later. You got to start posting regularly. Maybe, once a week, maybe 2 times a week, maybe 3 times a week, long posts like this. Maybe you go out on live once a week, but you got to be consistent. Maybe you want to do shorts, whatever that is. You got to have consistency, which really, it's nothing outrageous, because without consistency, you can't do anything. You want to learn a little language? Well, you can't go to class once a year. You got to go consistent. You want to learn anything, you got to go to school consistently. If you don't go to school consistently, you're not going to learn much. You have something to build, you got to do it consistently. You want to go to work and get money, you got to go to work consistently. Consistency is one of the most important things and underestimated, which a lot of people don't think it matters, but it's also very important. If you don't do something consistently, you will fail, period. Okay? So opening up, deciding the first step to, get on YouTube, or if you just got on YouTube, my lesson that I've learned is being consistent. And right now, I am doing something that's very difficult, that most YouTubers, most content creator people that have somewhat of experience, that will tell you, don't do what I'm doing. I'm actually working and building 2 channels at once. I have my business channel, Futsal Today, and I'm also trying to build my personal channel right here. Extremely difficult. Why? Well, you got to create content for 2 different things. And if you're trying to be consistent as I am, If you guys go to my Futsal Today channel, if you're going to put it on YouTube and go to Futsal Today, you'll see videos being posted on a daily basis. Shorts are being posted on a daily basis. Long videos are being posted every day, every other day, every couple of days, right? And then, I'm trying to get more consistent with my lives. And I tend to do the same thing here. It's not easy. But here's what my goal is for 2025. And furthermore, my goal is to become more of a full-time content creator. I'm not a full-time content creator right now because I have my business I run, okay? But my goal is to become more of a full-time creator, which is something else. Another advice I tell everybody, if you want to start a new YouTube channel, and I'm using YouTube because that's where you're watching the video. You want to start a TikTok channel or anything else, okay? My advice is start it while you're doing something else. So, don't quit your job and say, I want to be a content creator and just do that. But what are you going to do for money while you're building your channel? So if you have a full-time job, now you're getting paid, going to your job, right? But every day, every other day, 2 times a week, 3 times a week, whatever your schedule is, you get in front of your telephone or your camera and you put content out, right? And you keep doing it consistently until you get to a point where you grow an audience, you grow a community, maybe you start getting monetized, maybe start making some money, right? But you got your full-time income. And once you get to that point, then it's your choice. It's your choice. Do you want to continue having both? Or do you want to transition from one to the other? It's your choice, right? But starting unless you're like, a 17-year-old, an 18-year-old who's got no worries, living home, don't have to worry about money, blah, blah, blah. But in our situation, again, social media, Goldmine for over 40s, chances are you can afford to be a full-time creator with no money coming in. Okay? So this is the small advice that I can give you. Number 1, start today. Start today. If you don't have a channel yet, create one. If you just started, rethink what I'm saying. Start searching more. There's a lot of creators, by the way, on YouTube that have great content for new YouTubers or people who are just getting started. There's a lot of content. But you have to become a student of the game. So if you want to become a content creator, right, you should start looking at videos. You should start listening. And by the way, don't just take face value everything you hear, because there's a lot of garbage out there too. There's a lot of, whatever. I don't want to use bad words. Okay? It's up to you to sort through everything and see what works for you. Because here's something else. What works for you may not work for somebody else, or vice versa. What works for me may not work for you. So you have to put the time in. How do you do that? By watching daily videos. One of the comments that my young entrepreneurial friend had last weekend when I was live asked me, what's the best way to start a business? You know what my advice was? Go work for that person or find somebody, whatever you're interested in. If you want to open up, a car wash, well, you better go and work in a car wash. If you want to open up a YouTube channel, start watching YouTube and you start getting advice of what others are doing. And once you open up your channel, continue your education. Okay? So before you transition, before you invest your money, your time, whatever, go do it for somebody else. And see, first of all, if it's for you, because when you're outside the dance, everything seems easy. But once you start dancing, not so much anymore. Everybody in my industry, everybody at some point is like, well, why can I do it myself? I'm a good trainer. Why do I need you? Why do I have to work for you? I can just go and do it on my own. And a lot of people choose to do that, and it's your right to do that. But here's what they don't know. If you're a professional sports business, especially a small business like myself, I own a small academy compared to big academies. I have 400 kids as opposed to 2, 3, 4,000 kids. I'm a small guy, right? So here's what they don't know. Well, it's not just going out and training kids. If you're a true professional, you got to do the administrative part. In today's world, as far as I'm concerned, if you're a small business or any type of business, you got to be online. You got to put content online. People must know that you're online. People must know that you have a certain product or service. Where is everybody hanging out? Social media, online. So you got to create content. That takes time. Okay. Then you got to manage that content. Then you got to manage, your operation. Oh, I'm doing business in this particular facility. I have to rent. Oh, I need more trainers. I got to put an ad to get more trainers. Oh, I got to have payroll. I got to organize the schedule for the training. There's a lot of things that go behind the scene that a lot of people don't realize it when they decide to go on their own. So by working for a company, you get to know all the things that you weren't aware that you're going to face, all the challenges you're going to face. And I'm using my business as an example. If you want to open up a pizzeria, you should go and work for a pizzeria first. Oh, well, I make pizzas at home in the oven. I know how to do it. Really? It's not as easy. You got to find a location. You got to sign a contract to rent it. You got to have coach for the town. You got to build the interior. You got to have an oven. You got to have a grill. Oh, there's coding for that. There's so many things before you even make your first pizza, regardless if you have the money to invest or not. So what happens if you go ahead and start, opening up pizza and you realize, wow, I didn't realize there were so many challenges on this. Oh my God. I never realized how many things go into opening up a pizzeria. And then you've invested all this money, and now you're stuck. And I'm using a pizzeria, as an example. I mean, you could do something that doesn't require a lot of money, like opening up a YouTube channel. A YouTube channel is free. But it does require your time. It does require your creativity. Some people do not like to be in front of a camera. Some people are petrified of talking. Public speaking is the number one fear in the world. How are you going to start a channel if you don't like to speak? Now, there are content creators and there are videos out there that will tell you, well, you can start a faceless channel. That means you don't have to be on camera talking. Okay? I'm never going to get into that. YouTube or Google faceless channels. I don't know how successful they are. I know they exist, and what they are basically is you can create content with with utilizing videos or content that you could become, you pay a fee basically, right? Royalty free, that's what they are. You pay a fee, you have the access to these videos, and you can, make videos without talking, just with music. So you pay a fee, you have, access to copyrighted music, copyrighted videos. Although, I'll be honest with you, I've created videos with having like a piece of video from someplace else, or maybe a music override. And I pay, there's a software, it's called CapCut, 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 which is an addition that makes really good videos. I'm not going to get into that. Google it again, YouTube it, CapCut, and I make a lot of my things for a lot of my videos and a lot of my content for TikTok, right? And part of that, because I'm paying a subscription, I think I'm paying like $99 for the year. So because I'm paying for that, I have access to copyrighted music. Well, if I put that music on a video and then I take that video and I put it on shorts on YouTube, a lot of times YouTube flags it as copyrighted video. I don't know why they do these things. Don't know why. I'm not going to sit there and argue. I usually just, the video is on there. A lot of times YouTube will say, well, this video cannot be viewed in certain countries because of copywriting laws or whatever it is. So I don't know all the details for faceless channels. I'm not an expert, but I know they do exist. But getting back to the original proposal, like I said, if you do not have, if you're not comfortable speaking in front of a camera, maybe you should not be doing a YouTube channel. Okay, just saying. But if you're comfortable sharing your ideas and your thoughts and your experience and this and that, well, guess what? A YouTube channel is a great idea, a great way to start with zero money. All it requires is your time. Now, you could very well say, well, my time is money. And I agree with you. I agree with you. The hour that we just spend on this video, I could be doing something else to be generating money. But here's how I think of this. I think of this as time put forth for future gains. So the hour that I invested today, if I keep doing it, at some point I will be reimbursed when I get monetized. Okay? Just like if you own a business, you open up a retail store, you open up a service, any kind of business. Once you create it and you turn the key, hey, we're open for business, you may not get a dollar coming in right away. If you open up a bakery, a Dunkin' Donuts, a coffee shop, all right, the first day it may take hours before somebody walks in to buy a cup of coffee. You see what I'm saying? So, it's a good way to start a side hustle. My goal in 2025, as I said, and actually creating this video sort of kind of makes me keep aware and rethink and be reminded, be consistent, because I tell you, if you go to my channel, I encourage you to check my channel, you'll see I get views on shorts. I have a lot of views on shorts, but when it comes to long form content, I add videos and they don't get a lot of views. My biggest views come from my videos that I post when I travel, because I travel a lot. So I like to post, videos from my travel. I get a lot of views on that. But some of my videos get very few, views. I'm not going to quit. I'm not going to quit. I want to keep making those videos until, again, I build that community. I build the algorithm. You know what I'm saying? Keep working. Keep at it. So that's why, when I say, hey, please subscribe if you like what you're hearing, it helps me build my community. It helps me build, the algorithm of YouTube, right? Please share. Please like. You hear every video. Everybody, says that. Kind of reminds people, okay? Anyway, guys, this is it for today. Like I said, I don't see any comments on the chat. I know there hasn't been a lot of people in here, and that's a prime example. That's okay. That's okay. I am working, and I'm going to keep working on these lives, and I'm going to keep watching, the numbers go up. Another thing that I encourage you to do, if you open up a channel, without being fixated on what I'm about to tell you, right? But keep an eye on your views, where they're coming from, okay? How many people are watching, the age that they're watching, how much time are they spending on the video? Are they clicking on the video and instantly, leave? Or are they spending a couple of seconds or a minute? Also, what's the best time to post? Depending on your channel and your niche and whatever. Like my personal channel has different hours that my followers watch me than my business channel. So, because if you Google what's the best time to post on YouTube, you're gonna get some general hours, but it changes from channel to channel and niche to niche. Some people watch a lot of YouTube videos before they go to work, while they're going to work. Some people are watching it during lunch. Some people watch it. So it all changes. So go into the back office of your channel and look at these things, right? My personal channel here, it tells me that my best time to start posting long-term videos is between 8 o'clock in the morning and 11 o'clock. Right now it's 10:15 here in New Jersey. So I'm posting a video within a time frame. Again, do not be discouraged by having minimal views. That's the worst thing you can do. And by the way, that's what I did on my other channels. Like I said, I can name the channels. Soccer Skills is one. Then I had another channel called Goalie, which I did pretty good. I posted goalkeeper videos for soccer videos. Then I have my academy channel, as you can see the banner in the back, FTP Futsal, which is still, all these channels are still active. You know, the FTP channel, I try to post from time to time, but again, there's only so many hours in the day, you know, so how many videos am I going to make and post? Because I still have my regular, you know, I got to run my business, right? Then I have my Futsal Today channel, and I have the Nico Talk channel here that you guys are on. So I have decided moving forward, I'm going to focus on building my Futsal Today channel and my Nico Talk channel. That's my focus for 2025. So I'm going to be, again, hitting that social media gold mine, be consistent, create content for my two channels. And I'm hoping to one day just do content creation. I'm 60. I don't plan on retiring, to be honest with you. I like what I do. You know, even for me, like right now, I could be doing this live from Florida. I'll go see my daughter in Florida, and I could be doing this video. In fact, I'm going to be there in May, so I'm going to be creating content in May. I already have my tickets. I'm going to be in Europe month of June. I'm going to Portugal. I'm going to Greece. I'm still going to be doing business here. I have camps and other things going on in July. So I am going to be posting content. And again, if you go and look at some of the videos that on this channel that you're on, the video you're looking at right now, you'll see shorts and you'll see videos different times of the year from being done out of different places. So if I'm in Europe, last year I was in Portugal, I created content from Portugal, I posted. The year before I was in Greece, I was in Dominican Republic, I was in Florida. So you'll see that I'm posting content from wherever I go. So in my opinion, again, the social media gold mine for over 40s is something that we can do from anywhere. We're not stuck in going into a studio day in and day out to make content. We can make content anywhere. That's the beauty of this. Okay. So start your channel if you haven't done so yet. If you have, terrific. Be authentic. I don't think that, thank God that YouTube is promoting more authentic content and we don't have to do all this, editing and, because that's a job in itself. One of the things I hate, I actually have 3 GoPros that I videotape our training sessions in my academy. And then, there's 2 reasons why I do that, by the way. Number 1 reason is we watch the videos as the kids train with my coaches and we analyze them to see what the kids need to work on. They did this well, we need to work on that. Also the coaches, we analyze the coaches. Hey, we need to do a better job of doing this. Oh, we did a great job with this. So we analyze the video both for the players and for the coaches. That's number 1. Number 2, I get endless flow of content of futsal, okay? Here's the problem with that kind of content. I have to take the YouTube videos, upload them into my platform where I edit them, sit there and edit everything. Some of the videos, I have to add voiceover because they're too far away. If I'm wearing a mic, it's okay. But if I'm not, I have to, possibly do like I said, the voiceover. I have to do, because these days more and more people, not more and more, the majority of the people watch the videos silently on their cell phones, their tablets, or this or that. So having captions on these videos increases the visibility. I don't have to listen to the sound. You don't have to hear my voice. But if I put subtitles or captions on the bottom, now you can follow along, right? So you can do that. So the bottom line is this: editing takes time. Most people don't like editing. Most people, in most cases, you got to have a decent software to do the editing. Although like Apple and Samsung and this and that, they do come with some kind of form of editor, but they don't give you, they give you the bare basics. So like I said, before I told you guys I use CapCut for TikTok. I pay $99 a year for that, okay? I have a desktop platform that I use for editing these videos. So The reason why I'm telling you this is to show you that the importance that YouTube is putting on authentic creating content like what you're seeing now. This video is not going to get no editing. It's going to go into the live library on my YouTube channel. Okay. And that's it. It's going to get promoted as a live. Now, you could take this live video, as I do from time to time, upload it if you have an editing platform, and then you can create shorts out of that. So through this hour and 25 minutes I've been live, there's a lot of things I talked about, right? So I can sit there, edit segments in 30 seconds, 60 seconds, whatever, cut them, and then I can post them on TikTok, on Instagram, or someplace else. So I have this long video, I can create tons of other videos, smaller videos, which is another way of continuing to constantly have content, okay? But again, that takes time. That takes time to do that, okay? So do you want the easiest way to get on YouTube without any editing? You're watching it right now. You turn your phone on and you start sharing your ideas, your thoughts, whatever content you want to create. That's the easiest way, in my opinion, to get started. And I'm not a guru. I don't claim to have all this background. I'm just an every kind of day guy like you guys. That's what I'm doing. My goal is to create more and more lives and see where it goes, see how it performs. But alongside, of course, I'm still going to create my shorts. I'm still going to create my other video, right? But the goal moving forward is to do more lives for the reasons I just explained to you. Anyway, it is 1:24. You guys have been with me for an hour and a half. I thank you very much for being on here. Once again, consider subscribing, sharing, and like this video. It definitely helps with the navigating through algorithms in YouTube. If you have any questions, if you have any comments, I would love to hear from you guys. I answer everything. If I miss something, I'll go back and answer it. I love interaction for a lot of reasons. I love to share. I love to help. At the same time, your comments gives me great new ideas to create new content. If anybody wants to collaborate out there, work together, that's something else. By the way, today, and the reason why I'm going to cut this short is because I need to prepare. 11 o'clock, I have a Zoom call with an academy, a futsal academy in North Carolina. I'm in New Jersey, they're in North Carolina, and we're going to be discussing, getting to know, to do some things together in the futsal world, in the business world, right? Yesterday, I had a Zoom call with one of my associates from Spain, okay? So the reason why I'm discussing this, again, bringing this real quick, is just to show you, remember I talked about how small the world is? Well, these Zoom calls, by the way, a lot of times, I save them and I post them on a channel. So if there's a certain content that we're discussing, that's another form of content. So I tell every Zoom call that I do, regardless if it's business with associates, with possible associates, with acquaintances, with parents that I talk to a lot of times, I tell everybody I'm going to record this because you never know if the content is interesting enough, it's educational enough, where now you can use it as content to upload on your YouTube channel, right? So there you go. Just give you another piece of idea. You can get Zoom, by the way, for free. You don't have to pay for it. Zoom it allows you a free account, and I believe you can host a Zoom call. I believe it's up to 40 or 45 minutes. Anything over that, you got to have a paid version. I have the paid version because my meetings sometimes go on for hours, right? So as you guys can see, you know what? That's actually, again, I'm going to watch this particular video because there is at least 6 ideas that I just thought about as I'm talking to you guys that I can use for content. And the latest one is what I just told you guys about, the Zoom idea. Okay. All right. Okay, guys. Love the time that we spent together. Love you guys. Please consider subscribing. Like I said, I want to be more and more active in doing the lives. Hope you guys can share and follow and look to the next video. Love you all. I'll see you on the next one. Take care.